tell me who you're representing here today?
My name is Randy Strunk. I'm with Icron Corporation.
Okay, great. Welcome. And we also have Matt Lashide here from the planning department. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, David. Hi, Randy.
All right. Mr. Strunk, are you expecting anyone else to join us here before we get started?
Possibly Jay Moore from the sign company that's working with us.
Okay. Would you like to give him a few minutes or do you want to get started? I can always bring him in as
We
we're
could
going.
get started. We could get started if you like, and then you could join in here. So.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and read through our hearing script. This just covers the procedure of the hearing, and then we'll get into it. So this is the November 27th, 2024 session of the zoning hearing examiner docket. The case before us today is case number ZHUV240009. That's 2347 Vine Street. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any other parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. If we did have anyone here from the public, they'd have an opportunity to speak after the applicant had presented its case. I'll hear from Mr. Lashide in the planning department to provide any testimony if they would like, in addition to the staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond to that testimony that was offered in opposition and then make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. Finally, I need to swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing testimony here today, the zoning code requires that I swear you in. So if that's you, if you could raise your right hand, make sure that you're off mute. Neither one to answer out loud. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great, fantastic. Mr. Strunk, typically during applicant presentations, I hear a little background on the project, what exactly you're proposing, the relief that you're requesting, and why you think that relief is appropriate. So if you're ready, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Again, my name is Randy Strunk. I'm the director here of Icron Corporation. Did my internship here back in the mid-90s. Came here as an intern, a counseling intern, and I've been here ever since. So I've been here, I guess this is my 30th year here at the agency, so long time. And we do a lot of good for the community. We help youth and adults with really any type of barrier that might be prohibiting them from achieving their educational or their employment goals. So we do a lot of career and employment and vocational types of services, do career planning for individuals to help them to come up with the right career that might be a fit for them. All the individuals we do serve have some type of barrier that's keeping or holding them back. It could be mental health issues like depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. It could be individuals that have physical health issues that are blind, or individuals that have a hearing impairment, folks that might have a kidney disease, diabetes. We work a lot with youth on with developmental barriers and the autism spectrum, things of that nature. And we've always had a static sign out there, never really been able to, as we've grown, never really been able to educate the community on all the different types of services that we provide. The name Icron is non-descriptive. We used to be part of the University of Cincinnati. We actually had a graduate program there with UC. And we were part of the main campus there for a while, moved to this building on Vine Street. This building used to be the national headquarters for the brewery distillery union districts here in America. And so they'd send all their delegates here once a year to this building. We still have some old remnants of the bar and some of the brewery types of signs inside the building here. So a lot of unique history. We broke away from UC again, came up with that name Icron. Stood for absolutely nothing, just wanted to be more of a corporate or business name. We used to be known as the UC Rehab Center, Rehabilitation Facility. We had a graduate program in rehabilitative counseling. And Dr. Scott, one of the professors, just wanted a name, again, that didn't stigmatize disability, stereotype, any type of mental health issue or addiction issue someone might have. So, so we've kind of been faced with that. I mean, it's helped us a lot when we go out to employers. If we say we're with ICHRON, they don't know necessarily that we help people with barriers. So, the employers are, much more open. And again, over the years, I think there's been a lot of reduction of stigma in hiring people with mental health issues or other barriers. So, but the name really is non-descriptive in the sense of letting the community know all the different types of services we have. So we really wanted to propose some variants to have a sign where we could post some of our groups that we might have. We have so many different counseling groups for folks with trauma issues, depression, anger, anxiety, any type, a number of things, addiction issues. And then, of course, all of our career services and educational services. And one static sign just with the name ICHRON isn't going to let the community know what we need or do here to be able to assist them. So that's a little bit about the history and the background and why we've approached the city to see if we get a variance to have the sign out there. I appreciate Matt taking a look before preliminarily to see, the sign is, in an area here where we're right across from a park. There's no residential properties close by. There's other buildings there on Vine Street that do have a sign that illuminates, and we're not looking to have anything flashing or, there's nothing for sale here, but just a sign that could be visible during the day to let people know of our groups, changing times of our groups, and all the services we provide.
Okay, great. Could you tell me a little bit more about the sign itself in terms of dimensions and the frequency of the changing messages and things like that?
Yeah, I think again, Jay would probably have more insight into that, but the dimensions of the sign, I don't know if you recall, Matt, maybe when you had looked at it. It's 125 inches, from the ground up. So, but the sign is 96 inches from the top to the ground. And the width of the sign is it looks like 56 inches width of the sign, 76 from pole to pole. So it's going to be on 2 poles. There'll be a static sign up top just saying ICHRON Corporation, but then underneath a message board there. And as far as the frequency, I wouldn't see them, the sign changing a great number of times throughout the day, but enough to let folks know that, again, this group is happening here in the afternoon at 1 o'clock. So maybe you have a change, at lunchtime to let folks know about that. Or we have some groups during the evening to let folks know when that's happening. Maybe there's a change in the sign in the afternoon to let folks know about that. In the morning, our program's pretty much the same, so won't have a lot of changes in the morning. So maybe a few times throughout the day, but it's not going to be anything that's going to be overly drastic or flashing or that bright. We want something more dimmable. We want something to just be happening during the day, David. So something that is going to be off at night. It'll still have our static sign up top like we do now. It says ICHRON Corporation. But and then in the morning, when we start having some programming, we do it sometimes have some changes in the morning program, David. So there might be a change in the morning, but again, it's not going to be flashing. It's not going to be changing every few minutes or anything like that.
Got it. Okay, so you'll primarily want to use the electronic portion of the sign during hours of operation. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you won't be using it during outside of hours of operation? Is that?
No, we'll go ahead and make it so that it turns off during the evening. Again, there's no residential property. We're right across from Inwood Park. I'm not sure if you're familiar exactly where we're located, coming up Vine Street there, but yeah, we thought we would just turn it off then in the evenings and then just have it during the day. We do see a lot of traffic, folks walking up and down the street. So, when we aren't going to make a change on the sign to talk about maybe different times in our groups, we could have a list of our services that we could put up there services we provide in the morning and afternoon. And I think it would really help the community a lot to let folks know this is an awesome agency. Been here a lot. We've been here over 50 years. We started in 1969. Like I said, initially up on the main campus at UC as part of their graduate rehab program. But when we moved here in the 70s, we've been here, and a lot of foot traffic. We have 2 bus stops right out in front of us, David. It's the 7846 that stop there. So for people to not be getting off to use our services, but that are sitting on the bus to see a sign that lists services there that, hey, we can help you with addiction issues. We can help you with mental health issues. We can help you get a job. I think would be phenomenal for the community to have something like that to get more people connected to us.
Okay. All right, great. It looks like Jay Moore joined us late here. Jay, are you able to unmute and turn on your camera?
Yes, hang on one second here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I have had all kinds of problems getting on.
I'm sorry to hear that. Glad you could make it though. I just had we just had Mr. Strunk provide some background on the ICRON organization and some of the needs for the new signage. I understand you may have some more technical expertise as to the sign itself. Is that right?
Well, I think 2 of the key ingredients, and you may have already gone over them, was
So,
the
Mr. Moore,
ability to.
I forgot I need to do something really quick. I have to swear
Sure.
in all of our witnesses just
Oh,
so
okay.
the zoning code regulations are followed. So if you could just raise your right hand and answer out loud, do you swear and
Sure.
affirm that the testimony you will provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, and you guys may have already touched on this. This signage is both automatically dimmable. They will be able to remotely turn it off. So I think you actually spoke about the hours that you would like it shut off, Matt, in your staff letter. So those are both options. And then another option is the frequency of the changeable type. So I'm assuming you've already gone over most of that, but all of those instructions and all of that training will be given to them before that thing, we flip the switch. So they'll have that ability to do that. And they'll continue to be ongoing training from the manufacturer for them if that's needed, if they have employee changeover or anything like that. So we want to, and the client has been very good about wanting to stay within any type of boundaries that the city would like to have them stay within in order to be able to display all the services that this fine organization has. So we're really excited
Okay,
to work with them.
great.
We've been working with them for over a year to try and make some things happen for signage for them. So if you guys would agree and this were to go through, I think it would be a tremendous help for them and eliminate a hardship of not being able to express to the community all the fine services that they provide.
Okay. All right, great. One last question on the dimensions, or at least the height. Is this going to be bigger or smaller in terms of square
We're going
footage
to
of the
use
sign face?
we're going to use the existing posts and the existing cabinet if possible, but if we have to replace the cabinet, we will replace the cabinet. There is one architectural feature that I think, Matt, you and I discussed to kind of connect with the building itself, and that is the lintel. So that's a new piece that's going to go on the cabinet, but no, we're going to use the existing format of what we've got out there.
Got it. Okay, great. Thank you. I think I'll turn it over to the planning department, Mr. Lashad, if he'd like to add anything to the conversation here.
Sure. Thank you. And thank you to Randy and Jay for being here. Yeah, so generally the signage is requested in a residential multifamily zoning district where internally illuminated changeable copy signs are not permitted. The residential multifamily district, as the name implies, is generally intended for residential uses, single-family homes, apartment buildings, condo, multifamily development. There are some provisions for schools, churches, and what we'd call this a community service facility. But generally, I'll say a community service facility is not really what you expect to see in this district. Most of the uses that you would expect to see in a residential multifamily district, like a home, apartment building, would not need a changeable copy sign. They may need some directional signage, but generally there's not a need for this kind of sign. There's a unique circumstance here, as Mr. Strunk has outlined, as to why the applicant needs to show the different types of activities that may be going on and may be changing throughout the day. So that's certainly a unique condition to this property based on the unique use. And then we look at, if a variance is to be approved, what can we do to mitigate adverse impacts so that the approval of this sign is still in the public interest and it's not going to negatively impact neighboring property owners. As Mr. Moore outlined, we looked at, preliminarily, we looked at, are there any residential uses right around here? No, there's nobody right across the street from it. There's a park. But it's not like somebody's going to have this sign shining in their window. There's a lot of landscaping around it, so it would not impact any adjacent homes. And the applicant, well, I'll say our recommendation, I'll leave it up to the applicant to respond. Our recommendation is that there be auto dimming software installed so that it's not too bright in the evening to cause a distraction to drivers, and also that it be turned off between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. There are some homes that are a little bit further away. If people are sleeping, hopefully they wouldn't see it. And it sounds like the operations would not be occurring overnight anyway. So hopefully having changeable copy sign is not necessary at that time. So with that, staff recommends approval with those two conditions.
Okay, great. Thanks, Matt. All right. Turn it back over to Mr. Moore, Mr. Strunk. Anything you'd like to say in response to Matt's comments or in closing or otherwise before we adjourn here today?
Well, just as Matt said, definitely on board with the dimmable software there and to make sure that the light was off, the changeable sign light was off during the evenings. So it wouldn't impact the community. And like I mentioned, it's nice that we're right here at a bus stop. I mean, directly right out our front door. It's nice for our participants, of course, to get off on the bus. We do work with a lot of folks, lower socioeconomic individuals that maybe don't have a automobile for transportation. So, and I think that bus stop does help to slow the cars down when they're coming down the street as well. Not always. I mean, you still have a lot of people zooming through the crosswalk there when our participants are looking to walk over for services. But so I think that'll help to make sure it's not going to impact the vehicles coming down or anything as well, David. And I'm just curious, did either of you fellas know about Icron before you heard this?
I did not, and I have driven past it dozens, if not hundreds of times.
Yeah. So
I
think I think it would really help, again, the community. We definitely have the capacity to serve more individuals here. And it'd be nice for people to know that this is a place they could come for help. If we could, again, have a changeable sign to let people know all the different services we do. So thank you for considering that.
No, you're welcome. Let's leave it at that. I've had a chance to review the application materials and the staff report. Based on that, based on the testimony that I've heard here today, I am going to approve the application. I need to formalize that approval in a written decision. In that decision, I will likely include some conditions that we've talked about here today that are suggested in the staff report in terms of the hours of use and the rate of message change. I mean, typically and I think in the staff report, it says less than 10-second intervals. Right. Sounds like that's not even, I mean, I think you were talking about a few changes a day. So it'll probably be something around there, around what's suggested in the staff report. So I think that should meet your needs and also avoid distraction for drivers. The auto dimming software as well, I think I will include that as a condition, but otherwise this will be approved and you'll be able to get the new sign going. And hopefully, you're right, it does better inform members of the community about the services inside the building.
We really appreciate it. And thanks again. It's going to help us a lot, and we've been working on this, Jay, for a long time, haven't we? So
Quite a while. I just wanted to say real quick, I explained why I was running late. I didn't apologize, and I apologize for that, number one. And number two, I want to thank Matt. Every time I went to Matt to ask questions or have him guide me in what we needed to do, he's been extremely helpful. So I want to thank you, Matt, for that help. And the city, you guys have always been approachable and willing to listen and work with us when we've been able to. And I can't say that for all the municipalities that we work with throughout the region. So I thank you guys and appreciate your efforts too.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay. I appreciate that.
we do work with a lot of City of Cincinnati individuals that we help. So thanks for your support there too. We do have one contract with the city through the Hand Up initiative that we help people in lower socioeconomic neighborhoods. So thanks for your support.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for that feedback. Really appreciate it. I need to, as I mentioned, I need to write out a formal decision that is going to act as the formal approval here for this. And so that typically takes about 2 weeks. So I'll get that out to you as quickly as I can. As soon as I finish it, I put it into a PDF. I'll email it to everybody in the hearing here today, including Matt. When Matt sees that email, he can approve the zoning permitting on his end, and you guys can take the next steps.
Okay.
Sounds great.
I appreciate it. Have a good Thanksgiving,
Fantastic.
everyone. Thank you.
You too. Thank you. Thanks for your work over there.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.